I just want to say welcome to Voices of Reality. So yes, let's jump right into it. I want to start with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So Dorit, the burglary.
Invasion robbery of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Dorit Kemsley captured on camera. Police hoping the pictures will lead them to the suspects.
Because that started out with the first episode. And then it kind of like, I hope they don't drag it on all out throughout the episodes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have some. Do you have sympathy? Do you empathize?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my take on that is, why are you so surprised? Like, you're on national TV showing on a weekly basis your house, the makeup of your house, all your bags, all your closet. You live in a fabulous life. You have to expect you to probably get burglarized one day. That's how I feel. I was watching something on YouTube.
I don't think you should expect that. Everybody has, like, when you're on the spotlight, everybody has, like,
exactly. And then a lot of them get robbed. I was watching something, I think it was on YouTube, where they were saying that a lot of these criminals or burglars, whatever, they watch these reality shows to see how the houses are, like, the entry. They'll actually study these scenes of these people showing their homes to rob them. I'm not saying that's her case, but I was watching this thing, I think it was on YouTube, of how reality TV stars get robbed because a lot of these burglars have seen the show and seen the makeup, like, oh, this is the entryway, oh, there's a door this way. They kind of know a little bit of how your house looks like, the makeup, the floor plan, or some sort of. But with that, it was sad. She mentioned a guy. I don't know if the story is a little exaggerated. I'm not saying
I was just gonna say that. To me, I feel like, did it really happen? That's the only part I don't have.
I think it's happened. I don't think it didn't happen. I don't think she did this for storyline, for attention.
I don't know.
Money out of it from saying they stole all her stuff. And they had footage of it. They never caught the people, okay? But
you could hire somebody. Look what what's his name did for the gay guy.
But I don't know if they have not marital or financial issues to where they need to have somebody come steal this stuff and try to. I don't know the reason behind it. I felt like she was shaking, she was crying. I don't see her being that good of an actress to play it off.
Yeah, that's true.
But she looks traumatized. She looked a hot mess. She's one of those people that's into fashion. How she looked a mess on TV. I don't think she allowed herself to do that.
They did say that. I think Kyle made note of that. That she's like,
Garcelle made it like, oh, she's not fashionable. There was a scene she had no makeup on. I just think that how she said it happened. She's like, oh, one of them said, kill her, shoot her. And I'm like, did that happen? I mean, it doesn't matter.
I said the same thing. I was like, was he even in her room with a gun on her knees? Like she said? I wanted to know, is that true?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, my first thought was like, they didn't rape you? Like, stuff like that. Like, okay, they didn't rape her, thank God. And yeah. I'm like, did that really happen? Or did they just have a gun and they just took her stuff? Like, how much of it is true? Was there any exaggeration to make it seem even worse? But regardless, even if they just came with a gun and took all her stuff and didn't say nothing to her, that is traumatizing knowing you had your kids.
You're right.
But
you're right. I do have sympathy for that. Yes, I do have sympathy. If somebody came into my house, that alone, even if I wasn't there, it still would be traumatic.
Yeah, and her kids was there. Her husband wasn't home. You wake up, because that happened to a friend I knew. She woke up and there was a man in her apartment. So, and he shot at her door. It's a long story, but with her, just the fact that you're home, your kids are there, you don't know what this man is gonna do, what these men are gonna do. They're gonna rape me, they're gonna kill me, they're gonna rape my daughter. All this stuff goes in your head as a woman, as a mother, as just a person. So that alone was traumatizing. So I do have sympathy for her, totally. It's every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, that's so sad.
It is, like you said, it is part, like, I don't think she's that much of a good actress. Like, I do think they are going to draw it out. Like, I think, I wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, but I do think it, is great for her, great for TV. Like, they're going to draw this thing out next week. She's going to therapy for it. She's constantly, like, talking about it. Like, and to me, I don't know, how do you think the girls are, like, the part with Kyle crying at the window, and then Sutton walks in, and then Sutton kind of is dismissive about the whole Dorit robbery thing when Kyle is explaining to her, our friend just got robbed. Where is your sympathy and empathy?
And Son is talking about her sister's not there. Like, well, sorry, I didn't just get a gun pulled to me. I think that was very insensitive. I don't know what's Sutton's and Dorit's relationship or their friendship, but she didn't give a damn about what happened to that woman. She didn't give a damn. It was like some random person on the news you heard that happened to. Like, okay, moving right along, next topic. She didn't engage in the conversation. She didn't say how she doing. She didn't say I want to send her a text. She didn't give a damn. She was worried about her sister not. I guess something happened.
Yeah, with the clothing, something got tied up. Or yeah.
So I see why Kyle, being a friend of Sutton, why she was upset, because that's my friend, and I'm telling somebody else what happened. There's no reaction, like, oh my God, or no sort of sympathy. I too would be upset. Like, really? Like, but my whole thing is Kyle's too wishy-washy. You didn't say nothing when it was happening. You didn't make a comment when she said it, but you gonna go after the whole scene. You're gonna go behind the back. Well, I felt this way. Oh, Sutton did this. Why you didn't check her right then and there? Like, really?
I think she didn't check her. I can say for Kyle, first of all, I think Kyle is too dramatic for me. Like, she's just overly emotional, too dramatic. And I can sort of, I don't think I would be along as extreme as Sutton's response was, like brushing it off, totally 100% dismissive. I can see, like, the difference between Kyle and Sutton is Kyle is definitely closer to Dorit. She's been friends with Dorit for like 8 years now, I think 7, 8 years, whereas Sutton is just kind of like becoming friendly with her for the past year or two, I think. So I can say, like, I'm not that emotional, me being Elisa. Like, I'm not going to be crying at the window as you arrive.
I feel so silly sitting here crying after hearing about Dorit today.
Interesting. So I can see Sutton's point of view, where she's not gonna like be all crying and shedding a tear, but she was totally dismissive. Like, that was the part that
crying. It's more so this just happened. You're going to Kyle's house and you know her friend of 8 years just almost could have died. Your mindset of walking in was about your assistant coming in. It was just like, why did you even go over there? Like, if I'm not even interested or even care about this person, I'm not going to even go to their friends to even talk about anything else. Like, it just was not good. It wasn't I like Sutton, actually. And I did not like that part of her when she made that comment. It was
yeah, I thought it was very inappropriate, but a part of me does, I will be forgiving of Sutton once she apologizes. Like, we all make mistakes. Like, our responses could be like, I've been there before where my response might have been inappropriate, or I might have been too harsh, where I got to take something back and apologize for it. So listen, we all are humans. It happens to the best of us. So I do feel like there's room for Sutton to apologize and just get over it. Like, it's not something where they all need to double down on it. Like, Kyle is just a pot stirrer where she's just like, now she's gonna tell all the girls. But I love how Garcelle has Sutton's back all the way. This time, I feel like Garcelle was a little bit like, not as like a rider for Sutton last year with that Erika situation. And Sutton, I feel like now Garcelle is coming out with the guns blazing for Sutton.
I guess now she's also closer to Sutton too.
Yeah.
Because I see them on Instagram doing stuff outside of the cast and outside of the show. So I think now they really formed a genuine friendship where it's not just on camera. So again, Garcelle was new last season. And she's still trying to figure out her place and make friendships. So I'm not going to go totally and back up someone without knowing where's this friendship going to lead. Are they going to eventually turn on me and here I am, everyone's against me? Like, let's say I'm Garcelle and I'm 100% standing up for Sutton and all this, and now me and Dorit or whomever or Erika, we're not talking, and here you close buddy or Sutton, because remember Sutton was on the show before Garcelle.
Yeah.
So they could have just all been mad at Garcelle, and here they go back and talking to Sutton. So I think when Erika had threatened Sutton last season, even though Garcelle said she didn't hear, I think other people on the table should have said something too, like Kyle, who's known her for long, Rinna, Lisa Rinna, who brought Sutton, because Sutton came on the show through Lisa Rinna. They were supposedly friends, and that's how Sutton came on the show. So this Lisa Rinna and whomever else should have really stood. Anyone, I think the person who should have stood up more for Sutton should have been Lisa Rinna, because they were supposedly good friends.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect. I feel like all of them except Garcelle. I think all of them was intimidated by Erika and kind of kissing her ass. Like, I feel like all of them, even now, they still kissing her ass. Like, I think what she was doing was so like inserting herself in the beef between Sutton and like Dorit's Sutton's inappropriate response and Dorit. Like, I felt like Erika kept inserting herself. Like, are you gonna say sorry to me? Like this has nothing to do with you. Like, shut up. Like, I felt like Garcelle, I don't know. I just feel like they kind of just keep letting her slide with this stuff. Like, why does she keep inserting herself in this? Leave it alone. Sutton is not gonna apologize to you. She's not sorry. Let it go. She's not gonna kiss your ass like everybody else. So I just feel like with Garcelle, I think like from what she was saying, I think she watched last episode and how Erika was like a total bitch, and you could tell she's lying about a lot of stuff. And I think Garcelle does have some regret about her. Like, she kind of seemed to be a little bit submissive when it came to standing up to Erika. Even when Erika was like, you know, when she went in on her about telling everybody that she spoke to the husband. And then she started, and then you remember Garcelle, like, I just think like Erika was just like rolling, like treating them all like little like doormats and being intimidating to all of them. And I think Garcelle too, in a way. So I feel like she did speak about it, and she said that she did regret that she didn't stick up for Sutton like she wished she could have. So I think now is her time. And I did love the part at the with the Elton John charity event. Did you see that part?
Yes.
When the discrepancy about who bought the table. And
that was kind of like a big deal for nothing to me. Like, what's the big deal? Lisa Rinna, again, trying to get a storyline. She made it like a big deal, and I'm like, what's the, like, I maybe went over my head. What's the problem? Sutton said.
I think she was embarrassed because remember when how it started was, it was basically Sutton having Garcelle's back. So Garcelle, remember with the spaghetti sauce, Harry Hamlin.
Yeah, she didn't tell
Lisa Rinna's husband. Yeah, she didn't say thank you for the tomato sauce. And she didn't like, you know, do backflips for the tomato sauce. So Sutton was basically saying like, well, I, you know, let you sit at my table and paid $10,000 for you and your husband, and you never said thank you to me.
I saw that episode.
I think it was more of an embarrassment, like to Lisa Rinna and her husband. Like, they're kind of like didn't have the money, and they just like kind of like trying to get something. Like they tried to get a free ride from Sutton and sat at her table, and Sutton paid for them. So I just think it just seemed like they were kind of like freeloaders. So
I think with that, it was more so a bigger deal than it really needed to be, as far as Lisa Rinna going at it. Like, it became, then they had another white lady, I don't remember her name, that's new on the show. They had her get involved in that. I was just like, oh my God, this is just dragging for no reason.
Yeah. And then I did like the part where Garcelle was like, show the receipt. Like, come on now.
Sutton, show it. If that's your proof, show it. This is your time.
If you got it,
but if you got it, show it.
Like, come on now, show the receipt. And then Lisa Rinna was like, that is terrible. Don't show it. Like, that is tacky, or whatever she was saying.
I thought you have a receipt for the table.
Did you bring them? Lisa, come on. First of all, I don't cancel a table. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, you brought it up that it was canceled, though. So she's proving that it's not.
And it's like, come on now. If you're saying that she canceled the table and she didn't have the table, but she was at the event. Like, I didn't understand where Lisa Rinna was going for. She was at the event. Like, Sutton went to the event and had a table. She sat at her table. So how can you say she canceled? I didn't get that part.
Did Sutton go? And I think Sutton ended up, brought the table, didn't go to the event.
No, she did. She was there. Because that's remember when her name was Diana Jenkins, the new one. She said to her, when Dorit was like, well, she canceled the table, like, so, you know, and then Diana Jenkins was like, but she went. She was there. So it's like, how can you say she canceled the table when she ended up going? Like, it's proof that she was there. She has the receipt. You sat at her table. So then how did she end up canceling the table?
She paid for the table, y'all. She paid for the table.
And then sitting at her table. So I just didn't get that part. But I think it was more of an embarrassment to Lisa Rinna, like a freeloader. And I just think that storyline kind of was like, okay, like, just suck it up. You sat at the table, like, leave it alone. Like, that's not that much of a big deal. But it absolutely offended, or like was a blow to Lisa Rinna's ego.
Correct. I mean, with that, Garcelle did stand up for Sutton. There was another time that I was happy Garcelle stood up for Sutton, was when they were all talking as a group, and Kyle at the time was telling them how Sutton reacted to hearing the news about Dorit. And
oh yeah,
I was like, well, I don't think we should really talk about it. We should wait when she's here and we could all talk about it in front of her. I don't think we should talk about it behind her back. So I like the fact that Garcelle again stood up for Sutton, didn't say anything negative or be part of them talking bad about Sutton. She really stood up for Sutton.
I think we should have this conversation with her here. I don't feel comfortable talking about her behind her back. I think she should be here to defend herself, to say that's not what I meant, or the minute I said it, I want to take it back. No one gives her the benefit of the doubt going, oh, that's just Sutton. I can't speak for her, and I don't want to feel like I need to.
I don't think I'll bring it up because, you know, I'm...
Yes, Garcelle is that friend we all need. Like, even when they were at Harry Hamlin's event and Sutton was feeling awkward, and remember they was in between, like Lisa Rinna was over here, Erika Jane was over there, and it was like Sutton and Garcelle were in the middle of the groups. And they were feeling, Sutton was feeling awkward about which way to go. And then Garcelle was like, well, I would have did the same thing. Well, where you going? And then Sutton was kind of like, where we're going together. And then that's when Garcelle was like, okay, I'm looking like she gave in, like, okay, which one do you want to go to? Which way? So I just love like Garcelle this season. It just seemed like she's definitely got the guns out blazing for Sutton.
I know later on they showed clips that her what's her name? Erika.
Crystal.
No, her and Erika is gonna have some kind of rift between the two of them.
Oh, Garcelle and Erika?
Yeah, because they had said that supposedly they stopped following each other on Instagram. So that nowadays that's saying you're not my friend once I unfollow you.
Yeah.
But the whole situation with Crystal, I was like, oh Lord jeez. I think she has a point, but she overreacted.
At what point did she overreact? With the bringing in the clothes and she's naked, or she's overreacting by bringing it up?
Bringing it up and like Kyle was saying, it's two different situations. It is two different situations. You're comparing Sutton walking on you naked, which was wrong, compared to this woman almost could possibly have died on how and what Sutton's comments were.
I don't know.
You think it's the same situation?
I don't think it's the same situation, but I can see what Crystal was saying. Like, I can see, because I don't like that either. Like, I feel like I don't want anybody telling me how to react. And I feel like she was basically having Sutton's back and saying like, why are you doubling down on this? Like, Sutton should have had a certain type of reaction. She's saying like, you know, she's not reacting to it like you might have reacted to it. You're sitting at the window crying at the windowsill, waiting for Sutton to come in.
I feel so silly sitting here crying after hearing about Dorit today.
So I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to be crying at the windowsill and then boo-hoo as soon as you walk through the door and we're going to cry and shed tears together. I'm not that person. So I might not react to that, but you're not going to tell me. Like, maybe I will skip over. I'm not 8 years in a friendship with her. So I just think like in the situation with with Crystal, and when she was saying that Sutton walked in on her naked, and she was saying she felt violated. So it's like they was all saying like, why are you using that word? But she's saying, but that is how I felt. Like, why are you telling me how I should feel when I'm telling you I feel violated and you're telling me not to use that word because you don't like that word? But if I'm telling you I feel violated, it is what it is. And I'm sorry you don't like that word, but I feel violated. So it's like they telling her, "Oh, you shouldn't. That's too harsh. That seemed like rape. That seemed like whatever." But then on the flip side with Sutton and they're telling her she should be more sympathetic. She should empathize more. Like maybe Sutton's not saying it, but maybe she don't feel it. Like, why am I wrong I'm not 8 years in with her friendship? Like, why am I wrong for not feeling empathy?
She don't want to say it because she knows she'll look bad.
Yeah, it's not look bad, but I mean, is she wrong? Like, yeah, maybe that would be the cordial thing to do because that's your friend. But maybe she just couldn't help herself, and she just had a slip of the
proper etiquette. I don't know.
Yes, exactly, etiquette. That's the word I was looking for, etiquette. So it's like, and she might have slipped up, but maybe I don't. A lot of us sometimes we don't like when people. Like my father always says that when you ask him how he's doing, he'll be like, "I'm terrible," even if he's good, because he want to say, because everybody's always expecting you to say, "Oh, I'm fine." But because that's the cordial thing to do. I'm not going to really tell you how bad of a day I had or how great of a day I had, but that's the cordial thing to do. Whereas like with Sutton, I think like she was whatever, she skipped along. Like I think she had a slip of it, like it just totally went away that moment. So, but I think everybody's telling her how she should feel. When it was me, she's not going to be like, I think she really didn't give a damn, like you said. She didn't give a damn, but she ain't going to say it. But don't tell me how to feel to give a damn.
That is true.
So I think that's where Crystal was like, and I like how Garcelle had her back too. And it's like, wait, hold up. You are kind of good this season. Yeah, Garcelle is like definitely having a back. She's like, but you are telling her how to feel. You are. So it's just like, and then they kept not really seeing. And then Dorit was like, are you effing kidding me? So I just think like I do get what Crystal was saying. She felt violated. Do you think that was a violation? Like that what
happened
did when she walked in?
Yeah, I think she used the right word, violated. I mean, Sutton knocked on her door. And again, Crystal has certain body issues. She mentioned I think she was bulimic or anorexic. We don't know if this woman was ever molested or anything ever happened to her. She has body issues. So having Sutton see her naked made her feel violated. That's how she felt at the time. That's what she felt. Like when she kept saying, "Oh, I felt violated," she did. I don't think Sutton did anything purposefully. I think it was by accident. I think Sutton made a joke. "Oh, what are you doing down there?" I wouldn't have been that upset about her saying that. I would have been like, "Oh my God, can you knock?" But I think Sutton did knock, but Crystal didn't answer. Like she knocked and walked in.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a knock and waited for a response. It was like, "Oh, I'm knocking, I'm coming in," and here she is butt naked. So she felt violated, and I never felt what she said was wrong. That to her as a violation.
Yeah, I just think it got carried away. Like I do think, like you said, it's a partially her body issues, and then Sutton was kind of like, I don't think she empathized with it. Like Sutton was just like you're really that upset? Like I didn't mean to violate. Like I don't think, like you said, I don't think Sutton meant it, but I think like once it dragged on after she, kind of when Sutton said sorry or whatever she did, it seemed like it wasn't enough for Crystal.
Crystal wasn't like, but so there are certain people like women, it could be men, they see other women naked. Oh, who cares? For Sutton, she might be one of those people who should go home, or she is around other women. She just take her clothes off.
I know.
Who sees her behind, who see her private part. There are women that's carefree with their naked.
And comfortable, yes.
There are other women that like me. I don't want nobody to see me naked. Like
I'm the same way.
Like, hello.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, my girlfriend would get so like offended, like because I would go in the next room and I wasn't getting changed like ass out with her, and she would be like really offended. And it was like, why is it bothering you? Like, are you trying to have a moment with me or something?
Yeah,
like, why is it bothering you that I'm leaving to go get dressed in another room, and I don't want to get dressed up with you around?
So, and I don't know, it could be something culturally, maybe not. I don't know. I don't want to say, but she probably felt fine. She didn't feel violated. Like, oh my God, this woman I hardly know just saw my private parts.
And then it sounded like Sutton was stood there, like she was like what you said, what are you doing over there? And then it was like she stood there.
I understood her reasoning for using the word violation or violated, but I think she prolonged it a little too long. Mm-hmm. But I think the reason she prolonged this is Sutton's response to when she told her I felt, and Sutton was looking at her like, what's the big deal? Like, I think that's what it was. Son couldn't understand because she might be one of those people that really don't care if anyone sees her naked. I think that's where the misunderstanding came from. And Crystal and then they kept saying, she didn't violate you. She didn't violate you. And then they showed the definition of violation at that time. And it's like, yeah, that's what she felt like.
I just felt sort of like my space was violated a little bit. It was weird. And
well, it was weird. I did knock.
So I think with this scenario, what you said now that you're saying, it does make sense because now they telling Sutton how she should have felt the same way they were telling Crystal, no, that's the way you were feeling is not what it is. So Crystal walking out, she got really emotional. Obviously, she's not over that situation. And Kyle jumping in, which to me, I feel like when I watch the show, it's kind of like high school. Like Kyle runs the pack. Erika's the mean girl that no one could say anything. And honestly, I never really watched the show. I started watching the show because there was a Black woman on it. Mm-hmm. And I started watching like episode 1, and I'm like, I can't relate. I don't have anything relatable to these women.
Yeah.
As a Black woman. They're not talking about any topics I'm interested in. They're not shopping where I'm shopping at, even though Atlanta, I can't afford their clothes, but I just wasn't into watching a bunch of skinny, blonde-headed women.
I watched it.
That was married to rich men and just buying Birkins and all expensive clothes. I started watching a little bit like when they had Lisa Vanderpump because I liked her. I liked her personality and stuff like that. So when Garcelle, a Black woman, came on, I was like, oh, I want to see how adding a Black woman on the show changes the dynamics. And I was a little disappointed. Now that I'm even thinking about it, not a little more so because I like Garcelle, but that's not who I felt they should have had because all these women are rich. They're married to wealthy men. They have a lot going for them. Garcelle, at this point, being the Black woman, is bottom of the pole when it comes to status, wealth. So you're telling me out of all the Black women in Hollywood, you can't find a Black woman who's in their status to show that, as a
But I
Black
think they're gonna look but I don't think they look down on her. Like I don't think she needs to be.
I don't think they look down on her, but when you see one scene to the next, you see their house and you see Garcelle. I just feel like to me, and maybe I'm wrong, I just wanted to see someone financially on their level. And the reason why these women's life is glamorous, there's so much going on with Garcelle. Yeah, she's an actress. I like her. She's fancy from Jamie Foxx, but I just wanted to see a woman, Black, who have private jets, who have a house as big as Lisa Vanderpump, who's doing her thing. I just wanted to see that someone who's toe-to-toe with them when it came to wealth.
That's true.
I feel like Garcelle is still she's on the Real, which is not canceled. It just I like Garcelle, but I would have rather see her maybe Atlanta Housewives. I don't feel financially she's where they are. She says it on the show. Like they went somewhere and she's like, oh my God, look at this. You see Kyle buying all this stuff. She's like, my God, this coat is $25,000. Like she makes comments where you know she's not on their level, which is understandable. But to me, I would want to see I would have preferred seeing a Black female on their level. And I could be like, wow, look at her.
That's true, to make it like even and not like, okay, the poor Black girl.
Yeah, why is
with no money?
She's the one that's not in their level. She's not. You got another white woman who's coming, who's so the one you said.
Oh, she's filthy rich.
Exactly. Kyle is filthy rich. You got Sutton. Rinna's the only one, and now what's the other one? Erika, because of her situation. But before Erika's situation, Garcelle was getting the paid the least. Her income is not that much. I mean, I don't know what other business she have. I don't know what her ex-husband does. She was working the Real, but in all honesty, she wasn't in their status financially.
Yeah.
My question, out of all the Black women that's in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, wherever else, you can't pick someone in this. There's not.
Yeah, you can't get a basketball wife.
Yeah, somebody in their status, somewhere where you could be like, oh, this is you see the glamorous lifestyle of them. I don't see it. Garcelle has a nice house, but it's not like Kyle's. It's not like Dorit. So adding her on the show was the reason I watched it, to kind of see, oh, let me see her life. And it was kind of like, oh, okay. Which I knew her life wasn't like theirs. I just want to see how she was gonna intermingle with them. She did a good job. I mean, there was the last episode, there was talks about race and stuff like that. She got emotional. They did that. I figured in the beginning, everybody was walking on eggshells. They want to see their own black woman. But I think at this point, she's on season 2. She's picked it up a notch this season. But I would have preferred someone financially on their level. That's how I feel.
I get that perspective. I definitely get what you're saying, because it would have been like, they're not going to ever say it because she's black, but I'm sure, like you said, the depiction of it all, the imagery is like, she could be looked at as the poor black girl, like on the show, like, because we already looked at as a second class, huh?
To them, she's the poor black girl. To them, compared to the money they have. Yeah. She's beneath them financially. They may not say it or think it, but if Kyle's going in there and buying 5 Birkin bags, I don't think Garcelle's going anywhere buying 5 Birkin bags. I don't remember even seeing a closet. Maybe they showed a closet. I remember there was the episode where she's buying the house and moving and stuff like that. She talked about her financial struggles. They brought a place. Houses where it's okay. She has a nice house, but not like their house. Like, it's not a mansion. It's not square footage. It's not what they have. So they added a black girl, Garcelle, who's definitely likable, but I just feel like they should have I just wanted to see a woman, a black woman, be like, yeah, she's just like that. Yes, she's having a girls trip and they ride on her airplane. Like an event where it's like, wow, or they make comments like, oh my God, look at her house, or the white women are making comments about how fabulous she is. Garcelle, don't get me wrong, when she goes on those outings in these events, she looks great. She's 9, but we all know her pockets ain't as deep as the other women. So there's just that different level of financial status to me that I just feel like I
agree. That's true. Because we're already looked at as like second class citizens anyway, being a woman and you're black. So it's kind of like you gotta even the playing field, like level it a little bit, like not still have it where it's like, okay, we're still down here and they're up here. So like you said, I didn't think about that perspective where it's still looking like we're not on an even playing field.
We're not. And last season, before Sutton was single, Garcelle, correct me if I'm not wrong, wasn't she the only single one? Well, Erika with her marriage situation, but how's she a housewife? She's not married. She was the only one on the show. Lisa Rinna, Kyle, Dorit, Sutton had a boyfriend. The other girl, Chris, had a husband. Erika was legally still married. Here you come with Garcelle, who's not in their status, no relationship. The new Jenkins lady, she has a young boyfriend. Garcelle, now Sutton and all of them are single, but last season you brought a single woman as a housewife. Why couldn't you find a black woman? Well, if let's say you couldn't find one, I find it's hard to believe you can't find a successful black woman who's making all that money, who have a successful black man on her arms.
This might be what Nini's talking about, the depiction of the, just the racism of Bravo. It might be the underlining oppression.
And then the Asian girl in there, look at her, look, she rich.
Yeah, another one.
She's doing the basement a millions. Like, I want to see that. I want to see a black family, and they have their mansion, and they talk about I'm building a 1 million movie studio downstairs. I'm doing this. I want to see it. I want to see them shopping. That's what I want to see. We see in Atlanta Housewives, but it's not Beverly Hills status. Let's be clear. Housewives, they got money, but definitely it's not Beverly Hills. So that's what I wanted to see when they had if they were to add a black woman on that show.
Definitely, I can agree.
Or don't put her in there at all. At this point, don't even put a black person. If you feel you can't find one on their level, just leave it as the white show like Orange County and everything else. It would have been okay without adding Garcelle on there. It would have been fine.
True. I agree. I see what you're saying. I definitely Yeah. But
So
hopefully we'll see some improvement. Not that she needs improvement, but she's definitely not going to get that state that all of them accumulated throughout their wealth of years and years of like generational or whatever. From Kyle, she has generational income, and so does the rest of them. Like they all seem to like married either into generational wealth or they didn't just become rich through Housewives. And it's not even rich. It's kind of like Kenya. Like you just get a nice. I think that's what Garcelle what'll happen next with her.
Yeah, Kenya coming like now. Oh, I got my little house. She's still because I'm like she's getting the house. She's been divorced for a while. She's starting now get her foot into back into like back into this world of working and she's on the reel. They're not as canceled. That's a one less paycheck.
Yeah, I know.
She did, I think, 2 seasons on that. She's producing on Lifetime. She doesn't, from what I know, I don't know what business she has. She's not promoting any type of business on the show. The only thing she talks about on the show is the real. I don't know if her own, I follow her Instagram because she's Haitian. Hey. So I don't see anything of her doing any entrepreneurship. Now, if she is, she's probably is, but I don't see it. Like, oh, she owns a hairline or eyelashes or whatever. I don't know what her business
But she needs to capitalize on it. Like she needs to come on, get with the program. Everybody capitalizes off the the free promotion of Housewives. Like Garcelle needs to get with it.
She has a pretty face. She has good. Maybe she needs to start like Cynthia Bailey. She started a modeling agency. She started doing certain things.
The winery.
So I'm hoping, but I think Garcelle, again, if you watched when they talked about any type of income other than Real Housewives, it reverted to the real. Even this season, before the Real was canceled, they showed her in an episode doing the real with Hilton, Kathy Hilton on the show. They showed that. That is her job. But now that the Real's canceled, I want to see where she's starting a business, doing something, other avenues of income.
Hopefully we'll see something. Yeah, hopefully we'll see it.
Something else. But that's why I watched the show again, because of Garcelle, just to see where they're taking her story. But again, I just wish they had casted it differently.
Yeah, true. But hopefully next. I mean, I don't know. They're not going to add another black chick.
Hell no,
at all.
They're not going to add another black chick because then that black chick and Garcelle's going to be like this. So I think they're going to keep Garcelle, and maybe we'll just see the come up while she's on the show. But I mean, I watch Beverly Hills as a black woman on there, but if Garcelle wasn't there, the storylines would still go on. Her addition to the show, it's not to me that significant. To me.
Yeah, I just think they did that. She's like the token black. To me, I think Bravo did that, like to be like, when Black Lives Matter time, George Floyd and all of that happened. Like now it's like we gotta start, having some equality, real equality, and representation.
But this is not our talk. Is Garcelle's 3rd season. She was, because I think she was in the episode when Erika she met Erika's husband. They were still together. I remember that episode.
She was on the Housewives. They were still together. I don't think they ever been together on Housewives.
No, Housewives. Erika and her husband were together when.
Oh yes, I'm thinking you meant Garcelle. Okay, yes.
So Garcelle's been on the Housewives. This is her 3rd season on the Housewives. Yeah. I haven't seen much of a come up. Meaning, business set wise, like I haven't seen her using this to capitalize on anything. And if she is, it's not being shown on the show.
Yeah, she needs to get a better management team on deck, because maybe they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing to get her out there and get those products, out there pumping those products out. Because even with New York Housewives, like I watched even the white ones that didn't have any. Well, now, like we said, they have they're trying to add more people of color. But with New York Housewives from the get-go, they was doing toaster ovens, bedding, makeup. Like they were all like pumping out products from the gate. they came out like with products. So I just think like maybe Garcelle, she needs a little bit more of a better management team, like how we see with Cynthia, with the Bailey agency and everything else in Kenya. Like everyone has products. Garcelle needs to get with the program.
It's been 3 seasons already, and you don't know how long you're gonna last.
Yeah.
So by season number 2, you need to. I mean, I don't know what the hell Drew's doing, but anyway, like from the other Housewives, but with Garcelle, she's likable. But I think maybe she felt the real was her other check. I'm just thinking that she needs to start thinking fast. Like, what else is she doing? What else?
Hopefully, we'll see something coming down the pike. Like, we'll see it.
I hope we get to see it because, again, each season, when they show her doing anything, it's the real.
Yes. Okay, and lastly, I want to touch on Erika and her antics and her feeling like she's been vindicated.
How?
That's what Garcelle and Sutton said, like how. But she's basically trying to, do you think Sutton owes her an apology? Because that's what her take was, like, you need to give me an apology because what you said was totally wrong.
Well, Sutton made it clear that the case is still ongoing. Nothing's been settled. Nothing's been thrown out of the case, out of court. So I remember last season when Sutton was doing the confessionals, and she said she basically doesn't believe Erika and Erika's statement. So this is how I feel. There were certain episodes where they showed Erika and Sutton together, and they seemed like they were friends. I think they were like a spa day. They were in the sauna together. It was them building a friendship. So I see how Erika could be hurt by, like, oh, this is a woman that I felt was going to eventually be a good friend, be a support. And here is Sutton on the confessional saying, oh, I don't believe Erika, or I don't want to be associated with her because I don't want my reputation to be ruined because I don't know what she's doing or has done. So I see why Erika feels the way that she feels, but I don't think Sutton said anything wrong.
I don't think so either.
Sutton feels like she knew exactly what was like. Sutton acted like she had information that the rest of them didn't have. Like she knew somebody does do a full investigation and fully understand the ramifications of this case and did not want to be affiliated with Erika. That's why I feel like
I don't think so. I didn't take it like that. I think Sutton said and felt what we all felt and what the Housewives felt too, and they just didn't say it. Like I just think they all was kissing her ass.
Yes. And
I think Sutton was the only one who kind of said what we all were thinking. Like she didn't have no sympathy. She didn't empathize with the victims who he stole money from and left them, to be orphans without parents. And you're here funneling money and doing all kind of stuff to not give the victims money when they're trying to fight for money that you probably had. And you was like jetting all around the world on the money from victims. So I think Sutton was kind of like, you could still be friendly with somebody and then you find out like you really did this. You're really this type of person. Like you really gonna just leave these people, and not have sympathy.
Why did Sutton know she did that? Where's the proof that she actually did that?
Well, it says like she kept the money like that.
In her business.
Her husband was funneling money. What do you call it? What's the legal term for it when you're doing like
embezzling?
Yes, embezzling the money into the Erika Jane brand. And then it's a fact that he sent money through her like Erika Jane brand.
Correct. But like she said, do you think she knew, or did he just give her money and said, here, put it in your business? She didn't know where it was coming from. That's the thing. Did she know what he was doing or did she not know? That's the main thing. Like
I think there was a possibility. I do think she was in it for the money in the marriage, but like you said, she probably didn't know. She was just enjoying the fruits of his labor, and she didn't know, and nor did she care like where the nickel and dimes were coming from that was adding up to the millions in her extravagant lifestyle. But I do think after the fact, when she found out, she still didn't empathize. Like she still wasn't like, oh my God, like she was still trying to hide money. She was still trying to have his back in a way. Like she didn't, like, to me, just for public image, I would have still kind of been like, oh my God, that's terrible what he did. I had no parts of that. I didn't know. To me, she had no empathy toward the victims. And she even said it. She was like, I don't give a damn about them. I got to worry about myself. Like she would just say that. She's going to say that I think in the next couple of episodes where they show it in the trailer, where she's like, I think Garcelle approaches her, someone approaches her. She's like, I got to worry about me. I can't worry about what they talking about and what these victims, like she didn't say the victims, like I don't care about them, but somebody brought it up to her, like she doesn't have empathy.
You want to be on the side of the victims because you think that's cool. What I'm telling you,
it's cool.
I don't give a about anybody else but me.
Yeah, I just think even after the fact, like he stole from victims. Like now that you're crying about all of the money that was taken away from you, and you can't have your stylist anymore. You can't have this. You can't have that. But she said you don't see her saying anything about what he's done. It seemed like she was more so making excuses for why he took the money. He has Alzheimer's, dementia, like all these excuses. Like I don't believe he does, and I'm sure that's what Sutton is feeling. They all felt like that. Like, does he really like have dementia? Like, is he really like, or is he playing this up for the lawsuits that's coming in? Like, I don't believe it.
I saw a little bit of a documentary because I was a little bit curious to find out what the hell the storyline was. And they actually had the victims in this documentary.
I saw it.
You saw the documentary.
Yes.
So it went into it was very detailed. So I know he did this. It wasn't whether he did it or not. There's proof that
absolutely
he did multiple victims saying how he never gave them the money from the settlement. Now, did Erika know what he was doing? Did she not know? There's a possibility that she didn't know. She was like she said, he would give me money and say, put it in my account. I did. And she was probably one of those people like, he's an attorney. She hears he's winning all these cases. She might not be the smartest. She's not going to question him. He doesn't let her question him. So if he's giving her money, she's taking and doing it or allowing him to do whatever he's telling her to do. So I don't know if she knew I don't know her. Haven't watched the show that long, but I don't know if she knew where the money was coming from. But I did notice that when she did find out what he's been doing, she wasn't sympathetic. She wasn't crying like, oh my God, how could he do this? Why would he do this? There was none of that. It was more like, what's going to happen to me now? Oh my God, I won't have this anymore. I think she was more thinking about herself, of course. But I honestly don't think she knew, like, oh, all this money, I'm getting it because he's stealing them or not giving them to victims. I don't think she knew that part.
I don't think she knew, but I do think she was just in it for the money. Like, I do think she was, like, I don't think she cared. Like, to me, I think, like, I compare her sort of to Teresa, whereas I think Teresa, and you know how she got convicted of like what her husband was doing. Like, you don't know where he was getting his money from, but obviously it was in illegal ways. But I think in Teresa's situation, like, I really do think like she was just being a housewife. She loved Joe. Like, Teresa loved Joe. And I just think like in that situation, she really didn't know. And she got arrested and she got brought down for his shenanigans that she had no parts of. Because I just think she was just enjoying being a housewife. Whereas with Erika, she was married to he was like 90 years old. Like, to me, it was kind of like she was just enjoying the money. I don't even think she loved that man. Like, I know she was in it, but I think she was in it for the come up for her and her child. So to me, it just adds to that money hungry bitch I think she is. I think she's a money hungry bitch. And to me, I think with her personality, she didn't know, but I don't think she cared. And I think she was in it anyway for the money. Whereas with Teresa, she was in it because she loved him and she was just kind of not that bright and she just enjoying the housewife. Whereas with Erika, she's a money hungry bitch. Like, she married him. You married a 90-year-old. You were just enjoying the money. You wanted, she was a waitress. Like, to me, it was like, come on. Like, I don't think she was attracted to him. I don't think so. I think she sucked it up to be with a man with money and she just enjoyed it. And so that she enjoyed that money train until it just stopped. And then now it's like the money train stopped, and it's like now she's still going to have his back, because I think she's still going to be loyal to him because he did afford her and her son a lifestyle that she would have never gotten on her own. So I think she's remaining loyal to him. And I think everybody sees it, whether she's lying, whatever she's doing. I think her sole effort with this whole thing, where it looks like she might have known, I think it's just being loyal to the man that took her and her son out of like that, middle class lifestyle into like the rich and famous lifestyle. Like, so she owes him, some loyalty. I think that's how she's gonna be like how she act like she's like a mob gangbanger. Like, I think that's that whole mob and mentality. Like, he helped her when she had nothing, and she's going to remain loyal to him.
Yeah, she hasn't really said much, but again, I don't know if it's her attorney not letting her talk, or she let her cuff her mouth shut. But at this point, I do want to see where this is going to end up, and kind of seeing her like how she's maintaining the so-called lifestyle.
Well, I think she's going to have to give up some money. I think that's where it's stemming from. Like, I don't think they know she's not going to get convicted, because I don't think there's any charges pending against her. Mm-hmm. I think where it's going right now is they're taking into account all of her assets, and then they got forensic accountants on deck right now going through everything. So I think that's where it's going, is to where is this money? Where is it right now? We know some of this money belongs to the victims, and I think they're tracing it now. So I think she's gonna have to pay something, if she even has anything. She might have hit all of it, or she might have used it all. But he did write like some millions of dollar check to her. Where is that money? Did they attach it yet? Do they have it? Like, so I don't think she's gonna get in any trouble. I think it's gonna be like settled out of court.
So why is she paying if he's the one that did all the mess?
Well, I think everyone's gonna have to pay, like including her. Like, I think they already shut down all of his bank accounts. He has no money right now. Like, all of it is frozen.
Yeah,
so now
she has no money.
Huh?
That means she has no money.
Yeah, she doesn't. So that's why she's saying like she really doesn't have money now anymore, but it's all being traced right now. So I think now they're figuring out where is all of this money that he embezzled. And I think she's a part of that. Like, so right now, I think that's the only thing that's pending against her that hasn't been tied up yet. Like, where is this money? And we need some of it back. But I think we're not going to ever know. I think it's going to settle out of court. She's hiding all of her diamonds and all of the material gains that she got out of the marriage. She's not giving that up. So I think right now they're taking into account. So we're not going to know where this ends up. I don't think we're ever going to know. I think it's going to be settled, and it's going to be like in a typewritten, settlement where we're never going to know.
We'll never know. But I mean, with going back to Sutton, if that's how she felt, that's how she felt.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why is it so wrong to ask questions and to be? And I respect this Sutton, and I hope that Sutton does not, because it just seems like Erika is trying so bad to make her apologize. Like, every instant she's inserting herself in, where it's like, are you going to give me an apology? Do you think you owe me? Like, every little instant. Oh, and then remember the part where she's like, oh, slander.
Are you going to sue me? Are you going to sue me for cancel? You canceled a table at the last minute. Per my publicist.
Cancel a table
and he said, I'm sorry, you and Harry no longer have tickets.
Yeah, when she's trying to have a moment with what's her name? Lisa, when she's trying to settle that with the whole charity event with Elton John. And she's basically saying like Lisa Rinna is slandering her because of the canceled table. And then Erika inserts herself, slander. And it's like, sit this one out. But I love when Sutton kind of just shut her down, and she was like, when she's like, oh, are you going to apologize to me? And Sutton's like, no, I'm not.
Where's my apology?
And you're not getting one.
Why not?
Because I don't like you.
Oh, good. This is a mutual thing.
And then
I don't like you, or something like that. She said.
Yeah, Erika says, why? Because I don't like you. And then she kind of like dismisses her.
I like that Sutton is standing up and not kind of bowing down to Erika.
I hope she does not apologize.
And not changing her, kind of like changing how everything started, and try to be like, oh, okay, well, let me make up and try to be her friend. And apologize. I hope she stands her ground.
Yeah, I hope so too. Like, because it's like Erika is really trying to, I think she's the only black sheep of that group where she's speaking what a lot of people are thinking. And it's like Erika is trying to punish her for that. And it's like, it's almost like she's bullying her. Like, leave Sutton alone. She feels how she feels and let it go. Like, she still will not, every instance, she's like trying to bully her into an apology. And I just hope that Sutton does not back down, does not apologize to her. Like, let it go. I'm not apologizing to you. We're just not going to be friends. I don't like you. Move on. And Erika does not want to accept that.
I hope that Sutton stands her ground.
Absolutely.
But I do like Sutton. I like Garcelle. And then Erika, I'm on the fence. Kyle, I don't really have an opinion of who I like. And
what about Lisa? I don't like Lisa Rinna, and I don't like Kyle. I just feel like that whole Erika left a bad taste in my mouth, like how they kiss her ass.
I don't have any. It's one of those shows I just watch, but I don't put much thought into each of them individually, but I would as a whole. I think I do like Garcelle, and again, that's the reason I started watching it. Kyle, it's one of those, I don't know. Dorit, I don't like, for some reason, I'm not a big fan of Dorit. I don't know what it is. I'm not a big fan. And something she's always saying, there's something she's always, her and her husband is always saying something to each other. I don't know if it's honey or something. It's so irritating.
Yeah, she doesn't call him daddy. She calls him something like, I
honey
forgot.
Or darling or something they constantly say. I don't like it.
It's something like daddy. I was like, I'm thinking of like, that's what Heavenly says to her husband on
Married to Medicine.
No, but it's something along those lines.
It may not be all the time or something. I think it's darling or something. I don't know. Lisa Rinna looked like she's fun. Like she's somebody you could go out and have a fun time with. But again, none of these people are people I'll be hanging out with. They're not my crowd. They're not people I'm like, I could see me being friends with them. Even the Housewives, I'm not financially in their status, but I could see me like, I could see me being cool with her or having a friend like her. These women, well, they're not in my age group. I think they're all like 50 and over.
Yeah.
How old is Erika? Erika's 50.
Erika's about 50, but that still is the same kind of, if you think about it, it's all like the same generation. It's not like a big gap.
Yeah, but they don't have it. I'm not interested in any of their stuff. Like, it's not, to me, I don't see, like, Kyle's born as hell to me. She's opening up a store now. I'm just trying to see who. I think Crystal's not bad. I like Sutton, I like Garcelle. Those are the two main I could say.
I do like them. I like their whole relationship that's developing.
Yeah, those two are the two I could say I like on the show, my two favorites.
And I'm waiting for them to bring Kathy Hilton on because I know something's going to happen.
I like Kathy. She was quirky. I like her.
I don't know if I didn't think she brought anything to the show. Like I did like her.
She was funny. She did it. She didn't bring anything to the show.
I think she played stupid though. Like I didn't think she was funny. To me, she wasn't funny at all. I think she played.
She's stupid.
I think a lot of it was playing stupid because if I watched the Peacock show with her and Paris Hilton, and on that show I liked her more because you could see like the motherly figure and how she interacted with Paris Hilton, and I just think she was just so like on point with planning the wedding. She kind of took over. Like she was just so like a boss type chick. Like, whereas in this scenario, it just seemed like she's kind of like playing dumb. Like, I just think she seems to be just I don't think she offered anything. Like, I think she seemed like cool. Like, she's trying to be funny, but to me, I don't know. And then it seemed like she's going to have some racist tendencies in the next couple of episodes or something. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw the Instagram beef that she was having with Lisa Rinna, where Lisa Rinna is going to approach her and say that's going to develop in the next couple of episodes where she's going to either say something to, I think it's her staff, either a Spanish, a Black, or either the staff is gay. She's going to use either the F-bomb or she's going to say something racist. But when I was watching Peacock with her and Paris Hilton, they did have a couple of episodes where Paris Hilton did use the N-word like years and years ago. So that kind of like resurfaced now. And then Lisa Rinna brings it up on Instagram when they was going back and forth. And she was like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And you and your family are known for racist remarks. And I know, because when I was reading through the comments, everyone else saw that Paris Hilton N-word slip up from years ago. So I don't like that part of Kathy Hilton, and there's going to be something that transpires, but you don't know yet. But
Kathy made it seem like she's sympathetic to it, and she even mentioned like Michael Jackson was like one of her good friends.
Yeah.
So I was pretty, and she welcomed Garcelle very nicely.
And it seems like they are friends now, like close friends.
Yeah, she invited her to the wedding. She was on the reels, so I'm very surprised to hear that part.
She's gonna call them something, and I don't know. And then it's gonna unfold at the reunion if she even shows up. But I know that's what it seems like, because I think she's gonna be on the show. Something's gonna happen, and they're gonna hold her accountable for it. And it just seems like they're waiting to have her come on to the reunion, because it just seemed like she's gonna be in and out of the show. Like we're not gonna get full answers as to whatever they're accusing her of. So I know, like, I think they're gonna wait for her reaction at the reunion, because I think she's gonna disappear after they accuse her or whatever, and then the beef that she's gonna have.
I saw a little clip of something, but I can't remember now. But I did see her on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be interesting to watch. And I mean, I'm just waiting to see what else is gonna. I don't remember what I saw for the next episode. I can't remember what the next.
It's gonna be Dorit in therapy. It's gonna be that, and it's gonna be what else? I just remember that, and I was like, "Are they serious?" And I know. Oh, and like we said, I think it's gonna be Garcelle and I forgot. I'm forgetting, because we did talk about it previously throughout this hour.
Who?
That they're gonna touch on next week. When I don't know if they're gonna touch on the Erika Garcelle beef, but something's gonna transpire. It's gonna be brewing next week, aside from the robbery.
We'll see, yeah, because that's gonna be Dorit's storyline. Like at this point, we know that's a storyline.
I was hoping it was not gonna go throughout the whole season. She's gonna be
half of
she's gonna get hypnotized, and I'm like, are we really doing this?
Oh yeah, I saw that part, and she's revisiting that event. Yeah, I saw that. I remember that, but we'll see how.
I might have a little Sutton in me, because when I see that and I saw her crying and I'm doing the hypnotizing, I was like, are we really going to go in deep with this? Like, really? I don't know.
When I see them, like, her storyline may possibly help someone. Like, who's been...
They need to touch on it and move on. Like, just let's get a little glimpse of it. We feel bad for her. Let us feel bad. But I don't want this to drag out for the whole season. But I don't know.
I think it will drag out, because when she was on Watch What Happened Live, she said that the guys weren't caught.
They didn't find. Oh, I know. It's the same thing with Kyle. They never found the people that robbed her house either.
I always feel like maybe somebody that they know, like maybe somebody close to them. Because how would those people have known her husband wasn't home that day?
Yeah, that even with her husband wasn't home. The cameras weren't on. You don't have security.
The alarm wasn't on.
Yeah, the alarm wasn't on. You don't have cameras. The cameras were off too. And she said the same thing. That the cameras were off too. I have cameras in my house, and I don't have a big estate.
She had a camera because they had shown, but I guess she didn't have the
mode. Yeah, but I think she turned off something.
The alarm to set off. She turned off the alarm. So when they broke the glass, the alarm didn't go off. They broke something. Whatever they broke, the alarm didn't go off to indicate. There was
you're right though. I guess the security was on, but to me, like you said, when people are watching it and the robbers are setting up like and casing the joint, like you would think all of these people would have security. Like even if you see them online and you're looking at it, you're pausing it, you're looking to see. Let me see how this is set up. Let me see what they have. But you would think, in my mind, I would think they have security, like, or some type of alarm system where it would deter me from going to these houses, these estates, these lavish estates. Like,
correct. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe sometimes these could be inside jobs.
You're right. And maybe somebody's, setting them up. Somebody, is like letting them funnel information.
Yeah, it could be a friend of one of your female friends who has a cousin or somebody that they could hook up and do it. Like, you don't know at this point, because again, her husband wasn't home, so that's a red flag. Why did this happen when he wasn't home? But the fact that her alarm wasn't off, whoever did it took a chance on the risk of possibly her alarm not being on.
Yeah,
or
that's what
the
I'm
person
saying.
know her alarm was off. So you never know. Like situation, Kyle mentioned that happened to a robbery. There was another reality star that they robbed her house. I don't know if it was Lisa Rinna, and they took all her dresses or something. I can't remember, but there was.
It was Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle mentioned it, but I think somebody else house was robbed. I don't know, but again, that's what I mean. It's expected, I guess. And they live in these so-called gated areas. I'm assuming.
I know what I'm saying. Like you would think by the time they get from the gate, jump over the gates to the door, like there would be some kind of motion detection or something. Like even with me, I would know. Like I have motion detection and stuff like that on. Like if somebody's coming on, like coming here, like I would know. So I just wonder. Like you would think they would have something more high tech where they would know if it's not security, some type of system where on the windows or something.
Something more where the man can even, because I'm assuming she has a huge house. So, and her bedroom is probably upstairs. So these people was roaming your house to get to the bedroom. Nothing went on, no alarm, no motion sensors, nothing to where they went to the bedroom. Like you might as well just had your door wide open.
Exactly.
And just said to come in. So we'll see what happens with that storyline, but I think they are gonna drag it a little. She's gonna go through a lot. And again, it was, you know what was I kind of questioned was the filming when this happened, like when the burglary happened, was it around filming time, or did it happen like before and then they kind of had to relive it during the filming?
No, I think they did because I remember seeing the write-ups on it, like when it happened that day, like when they went. Remember when the next day they went there, and they all were like at her house on the outside and trying to support her after the day after it happened.
So like, it did happen at that time.
Yeah, it did, and they did. I think they sent the cameras out, like, oh shit, it's about to go down. Get out there! And they said producers are like, let's go. We got to get this footage. Because I remember that next day when they were telling it in the news.
Right. In the news, okay. Because
they told it in the news, and you could see the cameras were there, like the Bravo cameras were there. Like so, it just seemed like they was like, "Come on, guys!" I think when something goes down, they round up the troops, the producers, and everything. Like this is some footage. We got to get this. Like they can't miss stuff like that. That's golden. So I think they'd be on it where they gather up their stuff and fly out or whatever.
Okay, so it was real time when they showed
it was.
This happens when they reliving it and reenacting, but I guess it did happen around that time, so it makes sense. But you know what? What did you think about? I thought that was kind of like not a good. I felt kind of weird about when Kyle played back Dorit's voicemail.
I think that I saw that today when I rewatched it so I can refresh myself. And I did think the same thing. It's like, that was a vulnerable moment. I wouldn't want somebody playing back me crying and having an anxiety attack.
Yeah, I don't understand why she played it for like when she was on a confessional. Then I don't remember she didn't play it for the women, but she mentioned it to them. Oh my gosh, she really had a bad the voicemail. Well, why on your confessional you replay the voicemail?
I think they do ask her, and I probably would. I could see myself as a producer because you don't really see when they're talking. You could tell a producer's asking the questions, but you never see you never hear the producer asking the questions. So I couldn't see myself if I'm an executive producer or the person who's asking the questions behind the camera. I am going to ask you, like, listen, Farrah, you got the voicemail? Because I definitely would want to add. I might add it on here.
A knife in my heart. I'm really worried about her.
I definitely would want to add that in. Like, if you're a good producer, a good editor, you're going to put that in for dramatics.
Well, I know that, but then as a friend, do you say, no, I don't think we should really play that? That was kind of like a very vulnerable moment.
I think with Kyle, she is really going in with the sympathy. She crying at the window. Like, to me, I think she wants everyone to rally around Dorit and give her that support, feel bad for her, empathize with her. Like, I think that's a part of it. Like, listen to this, like, feel sorry for my friend. Like, I am crying, I'm torn. Like, she was like hysterical, like Kyle. So I think she's wants us all to be hysterical and feel the pain that she's feeling when she's speaking to Dorit and the breakdowns that she's having. That's what I took from it. Like, she wants us to relate.
Really like this, or she does it? She's just does it just to be over dramatic, or that's just her personality.
Kyle or Dorit?
Kyle.
Oh yeah, Kyle is always like, you always see her with her. Like, you always see like those moments where she has her mouth open and she's like and it's so funny. The camera always pans to Kyle, and like those moments, you always see her with her mouth open. So I do believe that she is overly dramatic, and she always adds that extra effect that I would get too out of it if I was an editor or a producer. I'm gonna catch the moment where she got her mouth open, because she's always adding to the effect. You just pan the Kyle, and she's gonna give you that effect.
Oh, okay. So that is her. It's not like, whatever.
Absolutely. You said you just started watching it. Kyle she's the one that adds the dramatic effects, but they don't even need to, like, you know how with Housewives of Potomac. Those editors go in with the dramatics and the music. Yeah. Remember when they went to when the Green Eyed Bandits, forget their names, Garcelle
the shady thing. Yes, shady event, and Karen got the vaccine.
Yes. Those editors, I would have did the same thing though. So I had to rewind that, replay it. It was hysterical.
That was one of the funniest reality TV scenes of editing. That was hilarious with Karen.
That's what I'm saying. It was hilarious. And then what's her name walking into Giselle's place, and it was looking like a haunted house. Then they had the music, and I think it was Candace who was walking from the car. And then they had like the Friday the 13th music or something playing in the background. They had her like walking like forever. Beverly Hills, like, just pan the Kyle's face and you'll get the dramatics. You don't even need to add anything. We got to see how this unfolds.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's all of the show for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we have to tune in to next episode so we can see how this unfolds.
Yes.
Thank you, Farrah, for always. Well, this is the second episode that we have. Third episode. Thank you for being readily available to talk your piece and your perspective. I appreciate it. And we definitely going to do this again.
Yay.